What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Bluebird Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, two-time unified heavyweight world champion, British superstar boxer, Anthony Joshua, who was a commentator this past weekend for a heavyweight contending title eliminator mandatory challenger spot for the winner of the highly anticipated trilogy match between former WBC heavyweight world champion Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder and newly crowned WBC heavyweight world champion, two-time heavyweight world champion Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. WBC title, the winner of that fight was guaranteed to face Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte was at the time once beaten British heavyweight contender, and he was the mandatory challenger. He took on twice beaten Russian heavyweight contender Alexander Povetkin, in which Anthony Joshua was the commentator this past Saturday night of that particular fight that took place in the backyard of Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's personal backyard, right? He turned his backyard into an open stadium for there to be fights due to the pandemic and social distancing. You know, everybody has to make certain adjustments. So with that said, nonetheless, Anthony Joshua was the commentator for this fight. And we know Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte have a past, right? They have a history. In the buildup of their fight that took place, I believe it was 2014, there was a lot of onslaught from Dillian Whyte towards Anthony Joshua, which Anthony Joshua did not take too lightly, too kindly of, right? Nonetheless, they got in the ring, and Anthony Joshua stopped Dillian Whyte, knocked Dillian Whyte out in the 7th round of their fight. After the fight, Dillian Whyte didn't stop there. He still continued with the onslaught towards Anthony Joshua. This is not the only person Dillian Whyte has these issues. He runs into these issues with. He's run into these issues with Deontay Wilder, who has yet to even publicly respond to Dillian Whyte. He's done so with now newly crowned WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, who has responded and says that Dillian Whyte is just simply not on his level and not even truly worth the response or his time to even entertain fighting him. Then he has issues with, twice beaten Cuban heavyweight contender Luis Ortiz, and also with the former unified heavyweight world champion Mexican superstar boxer Andy Ruiz Jr. We just saw Andy Ruiz respond to Dillian Whyte by saying that he was celebrating, he was happy, right? And now Anthony Joshua responds. He says, hopefully, quote, this is a learning lesson for Dillian Whyte, and hopefully he garners some respect for his peers in the sport of boxing. He says, I have respect Dillian Whyte for what he does in the ring, but outside of the ring, that's where the issue comes in with myself and a lot of the other boxers. So Anthony Joshua says, hopefully he learns that you have to have respect outside the ring as well as inside the ring. He says, you can have a competitive nature, you can have a mean streak because it's combat sports. He says, but when it comes to him not even shaking hands, disrespecting you, or his onslaught of words towards his peers, he says that's when he kind of crosses the line and it rubs people the wrong way. So that's why a lot of people were celebrating him being knocked out in this fight, that he was winning the fight. As I repeatedly say, I thought that Alexander Povetkin won the first round. I thought Dillian Whyte won rounds 2 and 3. They were close rounds. But then round 4, he completely, that being Dillian Whyte, separated himself, when he dropped Alexander Povetkin twice in the 4th round and seemed to be on the verge of stopping Alexander Povetkin. Oddly enough, he caught him with a left hook, check left hook on the inside that dropped Alexander Povetkin the first time. And then the second time, he slipped Alexander Povetkin's hook, right hook, and caught Alexander Povetkin with a left uppercut that dropped him the second time. Now the roles were reversed in the 5th round because Alexander Povetkin slipped his hook, went underneath it, came up with his own left uppercut, but Dillian Whyte did not get up and did not recover. Well, he recovered, and for the long term. He got up, eventually, blessings to that. But, as far as beating the count, he was knocked out in the fight, which saw him lose the fight. So he didn't want to shake Alexander Povetkin's hand, and this is a common act of Dillian Whyte prior to his fights, after his fights, so on and so forth, right? And so it's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So a lot of people celebrate his loss. Tyson Fury said that this just proves that he was never on my level. He's a B-level, C-level fighter, and it was never worth my time to even entertain fighting him. We heard Deontay Wilder come out, and he said in Russia, glaz la gaz, which means eye for eye in Russian, right? Which means, what goes around comes around. You throw a boomerang and it comes back to you, right? And, now you hear Anthony Joshua. You heard Andy Ruiz. He came out and he said it was a celebration. He was happy that he got knocked out. And then you hear Anthony Joshua says hopefully he learns his lesson and he learns to respect people outside the ring. He said, I respect his skills in the ring and what he does in the ring, but it's hard to respect him outside the ring because of his approach and, his continued disrespect towards other boxers, his peers, and the sport of boxing itself. So, let's see. Dillian Whyte is set. He says he's activating the rematch clause for December showdown, with Alexander Povetkin. Anthony Joshua also stated that he would love to put hands on Dillian Whyte once again, and he would give him the opportunity to fight for the titles once again. This is just how much he has, it's a personal issue with Anthony Joshua that he's willing to fight Dillian Whyte once again. He even offered to fight Dillian Whyte when Jarrell Big Baby Miller, American heavyweight contender, was pulled from their June 1st showdown due to the fact that he failed PED's test. And he was looking to replace an opponent, and he wanted to replace that opponent with Dillian Whyte. And prior to even signing the fight, Jarrell Big Baby Miller, he wanted to have the rematch with Dillian Whyte at that point in time. But Dillian Whyte stated that he didn't have enough time. He wanted a 12-week training camp. He wanted more money, so on and so forth, right? And he didn't accept the fight. But Anthony Joshua has been on the record as saying that he definitely wants to rematch Dillian Whyte. And you have to think, why would he be so eager to rematch Dillian Whyte when he's already stopped and knocked out Dillian Whyte in the 7th round of their first fight? But he wants to do it again because he simply don't like the way he's been rubbed coming from Dillian Whyte. He's been rubbed the wrong way coming from Dillian Whyte, and this is a pattern with Dillian Whyte and his boxing peers. So let's see if Dillian Whyte changes his approach. I highly doubt it. He's going to activate the rematch clause for November, December. More than likely it'll be December. There's no way I could see the Boxing Commission sanction him to come back in the ring in November when we're already going into September. And he just was knocked out this past weekend. That's just 3 months. Not even a full 3 months. So I could see them sanctioning for December. And he said he talked to Eddie Hearn today, and, he's going to push forward with activating the rematch clause. I'm sure at this point in time, Povetkin is going to have his own demands, seeing as though he is now the A side. More than likely, he's going to be calling for this fight to take place in Russia. He's going to have his own demands and want to, set his own pace to put himself in the best position possible to be successful against Dillian Whyte in the rematch. I personally see that Dillian Whyte may not be himself. I was just listening to him talk, and it sounded like his words were already starting to slur. So let's see how this all plays out. When you suffer brutal knockouts, your body just don't react the same. But let's see what happens December. December would be a big month for the heavyweight division, as that marks the month of the trilogy match between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury as well. So let's see how this all plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the video. And another thing is, Anthony Joshua is qualified to say this on his end simply because even in the build-up between himself and Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua stayed a gentleman and stayed, respectful in all his fights. That's the approach from Anthony Joshua. Now, some may take his kindness for weakness, but he's always been respectful to his opponents in the sport of boxing, even when he's dealing with his rivals. He just never has that approach. So Anthony Joshua, if anybody's qualified to, speak from this point of view, it's definitely Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua has been in a situation with Dillian Whyte, and he still didn't take that route. He still took the high road. So Anthony Joshua was qualified to do so. But that's all I got for y'all. Peace.